Hi, everyone. Welcome to Precisely Nowhere and happy September. It is still Virgo season, so we are thriving here. And I hope everyone else is thriving as well, whether you're a Virgo or not. But to kick off the month, I wanted to keep this episode short and sweet and fun. I have been watching a lot of TV recently, so I'm going to share some recs with you and we are going to do word of the month. Last month, the word of the month was perspective. I'd like to think that I practiced that, finding perspective. I was very reflective throughout the month and trying to understand others and see things through not only my point of view. So this month for September, my word of the month is going to be patience. It's something that I have talked about a lot in my personal life because I realize that I'm not always the most patient person. My boyfriend can attest to this. So, patience is something that I'm practicing, and not only patience with others, but patience with myself because sometimes I find that we are least patient with ourselves, at least in my experience. And there is so much that we want and we want it now. That's not how life works. In some capacities, that's in our control and we can control when things happen, but there are a lot of outside factors in our lives that we can't control, but we can control how patient we are. And that is something that I'm working on. So I am not perfect by any means. And a lot of people in my family would probably agree that I'm not the most patient. So that is my word for the month. I'm excited to put it to practice, and I think it'll bring me more peace and joy in a sense because I'm finding that there are times when I'm impatient and then I can be reactive, and that's never a good thing for me being reactive because that is when I am not in control of my actions and I am being I'm not being as mindful with what I'm saying or how I'm saying it at times. So practicing patience this month. I'm looking forward to practicing it and slowing down a bit. We are heading into fall. We're not there yet, but we're heading into fall. So I had a great summer. So many great milestones happened. I got to see one of my best friends get married. I got to reconnect with a bunch of friends from New York and spend time with family, celebrate my birthday with family. So that was really nice. I went to a spa, a hot springs with my boyfriend. That was one of my our birthday treats and it was really nice in Palm Springs. And this spa was so nice. It's called Azure, Azure. You can stay overnight. There's only 37 rooms, so it's not a very large hotel. And there are mineral baths outside. There's saunas, a Himalayan salt room. It was so relaxing. We did about a day there. We went on a Sunday and I had Monday off. My boyfriend had Monday off. So we checked out on Monday morning and drove back. Highly recommend, even if you just go for a day, overnight. There are lots of day passes as well. So check it out. I'll put a link in the show description. But yeah, September is here. It's back to school season. Lots of back to school shopping and going to Target recently, saw so many school supplies, which really took me back to being in high school and college when I used to love school shopping and picking out folders and pens and sticky notes. It's the little things, you know? So don't really do that necessarily for myself now that I'm in a 9 to 5, but it was fun to get to experience again because my boyfriend is going back to school. So, huge life update. He's on a new journey and it is very exciting. He's excited. I'm excited. An exciting new journey. He's going to be getting his AA. Our lives have changed in the past year. I don't think we either of us realized last year this time that he would be in school already, but it's really exciting, and I have slight FOMO because I really did like school. So I love to learn, and it's inspired me to talk about it on this episode because through this experience, I am realizing we can all be students of life and the learning doesn't have to stop. There's learning and growing in our personal lives through our 9 to 5s or through our personal experiences, but there's also still learning in school that we can do at any age. So it's inspired me to take a class or two eventually, not anytime soon, but in dabbling and looking at all of the different courses, it just looks so fun. And my boyfriend's going to be going to a community college near us, so there are a lot of great resources out here in California and very affordable. So taking advantage of things like that is something that I want to do because why not? So, back to school season, student of life here, can't stop, won't stop learning in all aspects. And it's a new journey, it's a new month. So much has come and gone already this year, but it's still exciting. We have 4 months left. Here we go. My brothers are also on a new journey. They are now one's a sophomore and one is a senior in high school. So the senior is going through all of the preparations for college applications, figuring out what he wants to do in this next chapter of his life, which is exciting and daunting in a way, which I can relate to. But at the end of the day, I just want what's best for both of them. I have another brother that's also in school right now who's 5 years younger than me. He's studying to become a nurse. So he's on his own journey as well and on a path where he has a sense of what he wants to do, which I think is amazing. And for my other brothers, just trying to figure that out, one more than the other right now since he's a senior. But it just takes me back to when I was deciding to go to NYU, and I can't believe it's been 9 years since I've graduated from college. It's time has truly flown by. Everyone's journey is unique, and that is all I want for my brothers is to find their own path, come into their own voice, and not let fear or doubt get in the way of them chasing their dreams and goals. And we all stumble at times. I've stumbled so many times, but it's about how you get up that matters. It's easier said than done, but how we carry ourselves also is huge, in my opinion, and how we treat others is so crucial to preserving our humanity. I see this day to day, and I work from home, so I'm not around people physically during the day, but when I go out of my humble home and talk to people or see things on social, how we treat others is so important for us. I think we're at this crucial stage in life where there are a lot of divisive conversations, politics, and it's easy to judge others or treat them differently because they don't have the same point of view or they come from a different walk of life. And all I want and I see in my brothers is being kind and being open-minded and helping preserve that humanity because they are the next generation. And I know that millennials have paved the way and have gone through some of the hard times so that Gen Z can have it a little bit better when it comes to humanity in the workplace, humanity when it comes to student internships, internships in general, and colleges looking at people like they're people, not just like their test scores. So that is my older sibling spiel, but nonetheless, very excited for this journey. And this fall will be so telling. I mean, my brother will be finding out at some point what school he gets into. I know my mom is worried that where he's going to go because everyone nowadays has a 4.0 and above GPA and are talented. Planning for the worst is good, but really focusing on plan A and your energy towards your goals and dreams, I think is even more important because it's easy to get lost in the what if this doesn't happen? What if this doesn't work out? This is going to be a challenge. And while it's good to acknowledge those thoughts, I think it's really important to focus on what is in our control and the exciting things that we want to bring to life because that's the energy that you want to be putting out into the universe. And that's the energy that you want coming back to you. So if you're not embodying any of the energy that you want to come back to you or putting it out in the universe, just got to think on that one. How are you going to get what you want if you're not spending any of your time consciously thinking about it or taking steps to get excited and put out into the world what you want to come back to you? You have to put the work in, not just filling out an application, but really doing your research, doing your homework, doing whatever you can in your means to make that dream a reality. And that is a perfect segue to TV show and Rex. So I recently binged Popstar Academy KATSEYE. It's a docuseries on Netflix and it follows the making of a global girl group. One of my coworkers mentioned that it's similar to Making the Band. So if you know what Making the Band is, then you know. And I would agree that it's similar to Making the Band. It's interesting, and if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend. It is about 8 episodes, but it follows the making of this girl group, and there's a few creators behind it that are the creators behind BTS, so huge names in K-pop coming together with Americans to make this global girl group. It's modeled after the K-pop training and development system, so it's very rigorous. It is a lot, and there are moments when I'm watching it where I think to myself, did these girls get catfished into this experience? Because not everything's transparent from the get-go. That's what I think is one of the most interesting things watching it is that you're seeing from the executives that are involved, like, okay, these girls are going to eventually come compete in this show where people are going to get a chance to vote for who they want in this girl group and it's going to be 6 girls at the end of it and there are 20 girls, 20 contestants from around the world that are competing for a spot, but they don't know that they're going to be in a TV program, like a live competition until towards the end. So that feels a little sketch to me. They rationalize it in the show about why they didn't tell them from the get-go, and part of me is like, "Okay," but part of me is like, I don't know about this." So there were moments where I am it's hard to watch in a way because these girls, some of them are 15, 17, some of them are over 18, and they essentially live in a house together if they're over 18. And if they're under 18, they have a guardian or a parent that accompanies them, and they spend 2 years in LA. So a lot of it is them training, and then towards the end, they're doing some of these competitions and it actually was something that happened in 2023. They announced the girl group. So this is a fairly new girl group. The docuseries just came out on August 21st. I then went and binged a lot of episodes on YouTube because there's music videos and other content. I liked it. I think it's interesting. I think that things like this could be problematic to these girls' mental health, but there seemed to be a lot of people involved in the project that also were focused on uplifting the girls, and it's beautiful to see the friendship that came out of this and the manifesting that is done throughout this. I was so proud of these girls. A lot of them, I would say, are Gen Z, but to see them practicing self love, positive affirmations, and going after it is awesome. It's also interesting to see that this generation grew up on YouTube and social media. So from a young age, they have been creating content and learning how to dance through YouTube videos and putting it all out there enough so that they could get some of them recruited just by their social media. So it's interesting to see making the band Gen Z version and this K-pop training is no joke. It I was getting tired watching it, but very impressed. There are all aspects of from singing to dancing and everyone's skill sets at a different level. So it is a highly recommended docuseries to watch. Check it out. Another recent watch is A Quiet Place, Day One. So if you've watched the first two Quiet Place movies, those are with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, and I really liked them. A Quiet Place Day One came out recently. It's on Paramount Plus, and it's good. It's a prequel to the other two films. It's directed by Michael Sarnowski. If you've watched Pig, which I have not, I think it's a scary movie, you'll be familiar with him, but it does not disappoint. It feels a little bit of a departure from the other two. There could have been more of a through line so that it makes sense. It almost feels like another movie, but because there's already been two other Quiet Place movies, you know that it's a prequel. So I recommend it. There's a lot of thriller aspects to it. Lupita Nyong'o is in it. She's one of the main stars, and there are some other actors in it as well that are in the other movies. So that was cool to see that through line. But it sparked a marathon, and that was because Margot had never watched the other two Quiet Place movies. So we rewatched those, and gosh, those just make you think this could happen in real life someday, and maybe I should learn sign language. I've been wanting to learn it anyway, but I am going to put it off for now though because I recently got a wrist brace. So, health update news. I have been overusing my right wrist, which is my dominant hand, and partially because I'm a workaholic and I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot. I like to do things. I like to keep busy. I like to work a lot. I love the podcast. I like to clean. So a lot of these things are labor intensive. I'm going to say though, working is mostly the main cause of this. So I recently self-care, made an appointment for myself and went to the doctor. She confirmed that I had tendonitis. So luckily it's not carpal tunnel, but it is looking like tendonitis. So she gave me a wrist brace to wear for the next 4 weeks. I am about 1 week in when this episode comes out and some exercises to do daily. So it is a bit of an inconvenience that I'm wearing this wrist brace every day, all day now, but I am being mindful that I'm glad that there's no signs of carpal tunnel and I want to just get my wrist better. So the podcast is going to remain alive, but we may have some short and sweet episodes for the next few weeks because I'm trying to take it easy and let myself rest. And that's hard, but it's needed. And I think when our body is really telling us, like, hey, listen to me, I don't feel great. We need to listen. Off and on again, my wrist was hurting, I would say for 2 months at most, but I was taking some breaks, massaging it, and then I realized I wasn't a doctor and I needed to go to a professional. So that is my loving way to everyone who's listening that we got to take care of ourselves. It's so easy nowadays to Google something, use our Thorogun, Band Aid, fix it with a Band Aid. And while the Band Aid effect works, it's probably not the best path forward. And I can acknowledge that. So my wrist is healing, getting better day by day. I am determined to spend the next month with self care and making sure that I am getting the rest that I need so that I can go into the end of the year on a high note and go to Europe. I am planning a Europe trip. More details to come in episodes this month, but I'm super excited. I'm going with my best friend, one of my best friends, and it will have been 2 years since I have been to Europe. So it's going to be a great trip. I am thinking about going somewhere where I can just relax, do some sightseeing, but also relax. So that is super exciting. If you are a fan of reality TV competition shows, check out Big Brother and Survivor. I recently caught up on the last season of Survivor because there's a new one coming out soon. And Big Brother is currently airing right now, but you can always catch up and binge it. Both are on Paramount Plus. Yes, both are on Paramount Plus, and I love a good reality TV competition. I used to want to go on Survivor when I was little. Now I think to myself, I could still do it. I could definitely still do it, but I'm already like pretty thin. I feel like I would wither away out there. I don't know if I want to be malnourished because I would definitely be a little malnourished, but it could be an amazing once in a lifetime experience. Big Brother also I love. I've been watching the show since I was a kid with my parents. Now I still watch it. I have fallen off a few seasons here and there, but this season there's an AI component which is really interesting. It's a little like too much for me in some episodes. I think to myself, okay, this went from a social experiment with people to now we are engaging robots and AI and I don't it makes me a little uncomfy because I think to myself, we're humans though. There's a humans in the house. So like can we not fuck with their emotions like, to that extreme? Can we like where where's the mental health in this? This is the fine line with reality competition shows. It's great, but then America, just don't take it to the next level. Like people's mental health is so important. They should be able to leave the show and not need to go to therapy because of the show or maybe they'll need to go anyway, but not because the robots were fucking with them. Like let's not. Let's not. That's all for the Rex for this episode. I am a huge proponent of therapy, so if you need it, get the help. I actually just booked an appointment with a therapist for this month. That was the soonest available, so I'm very excited. It's in a few weeks. I do want to share my experience to an extent because I know that I have been talking about growth and know that we're all growing. And recently I've come across new people that I didn't know that I had a podcast and they ask me, "What is your podcast about?" And I still clam up for a second, but I try to tell myself, "Be confident, girl. You're a badass and you have a podcast." And I'm letting you into these inner thoughts because I know that we all have them and we all have moments where we doubt ourselves. So the podcast is important to me and I want to be my authentic self and show the highs, lows, and the work in progress because we're all a work in progress. And I'm so excited to go to therapy. It has been something that I know I needed to do for my own self because there has been so much change in the past year. A lot of good change, but change nonetheless. And I don't have all of the tools to help myself. I have a lot of the tools and I have done a lot of the work, and I could go to social media for sure. And that is helpful. And I have my positive affirmations, but I can acknowledge that there are professionals who are experts, and I am excited to have a objective point of view to talk to and listen to me and to help me grow because being a creative and working from home and having a lot of change in my life, there are days when it can feel isolating. And I'm sure some people can relate to this. And I don't mean to say it, I'm not saying this in a negative way. Like, we all need to have our alone time. And I don't think it's a bad thing that there are times when we feel isolated. But I think that nowadays, with social media and seeing everyone do amazing things, it can put pressure, at least on myself, of wanting to do those things as well, but knowing that we all have different lives and different experiences, different struggles, different blessings, different side hustles. So, one of the main reasons why I want to go to therapy, I just want to make sure that I'm taking active steps towards growing and I am getting help because I don't know everything. And I love my family and I love my boyfriend, but it's not their job to be my therapist. And while they're there for me, and I love that I have so many people in my life that I could go to. I think it'll be a really great use of my energy and time. So that is my spiel. Therapy is not for everyone. I'm not trying to push therapy on anyone, but I do think that I'm going to get a lot of good out of it. And I'm trying to go into it with that energy and that mindset because why not? If I went into it with different energy and mindset, I think it would impact my experience and I can only control the mindset that I go into it with. So I hope we have an amazing September. Happy early birthday to my boyfriend, whose birthday will be this week when the episode comes out. And happy belated birthday to my aunt, and she listens every week and has been huge support. There are a lot of birthdays in my family around August and September and sprinkled throughout the year. But thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you for all of this support in all aspects of my life. I am grateful to have this podcast. I'm grateful that I'm getting to document my growth in a way. I have a lot of awesome friends in my life, not to brag, that document their lives in different ways from digital diaries on TikTok to Instagram. And I have come across a lot of awesome people in this past year that are taking the time to work on themselves and spread love and good vibes and make the world a better place, as cheesy as it sounds. And I want to be one of those people. I think I am one of those people, but I want to continue to be one of those people, which is why I know I need to continue to work on myself and acknowledge my shortcomings. And that is not easy, but for some reason when I get on the mic, it's easy here. It's easy to take the time, share my thoughts, be present in the moment with everyone that's listening. So I am very grateful for that. And I'm grateful for everyone that's listening. It's a weird concept nowadays. I love talking and I love this podcast and it pushes me to be present and be intentional with what I'm putting out in the world, not in a calculated way, but in a way that I want this to be a safe space for you as you're listening to be inspired to grow and be inspired to be your authentic self, whatever that means. Hopefully, you're not harming others, but whatever that means. So, I love you all. Thank you so much for listening and talk soon.
Music and editing done by Marco. You can find him at midnight, MIDNITE_mind80 on Instagram for more of his work.